Hello, good evening. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight at our Team All In business training tonight. And before I play Allan Blain's video, I want to share a little bit of stuff with you that Eric Worre did a session. Jones shared some of the trainings that he's been doing, and the last Thursday session really hit home to me. Some of you know my situation. When it comes to the law of association, people that you allow into your life, people that you hang around with or you spend time with, and you see it, we see it. This was a very interesting theory when I was listening to Eric. And Joan, maybe if you have anything to add, please jump in, because I know this is somebody that you've been working with and training with for a few months now. But you will become the average of the 5 people you spend time with. That, when I thought of that, and I remember even when I was working on the police force, being in that negative environment, not always, but the people that were around me in my life, I had to really limit the amount of time I associated with them, right? Or the amount of time I spent with them. And I did spend a little bit of time with them, but I made sure I didn't hang out with them all the time, because it could really drag you into that negative loophole. And it says to limit the time you spend with people that don't support you, or limit or even the people that will distract you. It was interesting because there was 2 columns that he talked about to keep you on purpose, or he called it team purpose or team distraction. So if you're hanging out with people that are constantly distracting you, that don't believe in you, that don't, or that are extremely negative, it's really hard to be positive and focused and be successful in life or in your business. And so it was interesting when he started saying, sometimes he posed the question, like, who are the people that are pulling you away from your goals, pulling you away from your dreams? And, some of them were saying like really close family and even their spouses. And there was a lot of, some of it was like they're talking about abuse and things like that. But in general, and I'm not saying that you have to not hang around or not associate yourself with all your family or some of your greater friends, but you still have to not let them in. I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying, especially if you have some big dreams and big goals. And that was me in my life. When I was working on the police force, I had guys at work that told me I was crazy thinking that I was gonna leave my job. Like, they were always like making fun of me and saying, "Oh, you'll never do it, Saint Germain. You'll never do it, Saint Germain." They'd always say that. But I just, in my head and in my heart, I knew that that's not what I wanted to do. And I thought, I'm just going to keep on focusing, keep on persevering. And you know what kept me going? Being around you guys, driving to the Neo Life office every Thursday, every Tuesday, surrounding myself with like-minded people. And now over Zoom, right, this community that we have. And Joan, you hit it on the nail when COVID hit. We were so grateful that we were able to gather. My gosh, how many nights a week we were gathering, like 2-3 nights a week on Zoom when everybody was locked in their homes. And that positive environment that we had, I think, really saved us. Like, it really gave us a purpose. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. So, don't give too much space up for those people that are negative in your life or that are toxic in your life, especially if they're great things that you want to do. Okay. Anybody want to add anything, or maybe share, Joan, experience?
Yeah. He mentioned that expand your associations with positive people who are on your team purpose. And he says, take a millionaire to lunch. Well, I don't have any millionaires that I know of, but we can do our mentors could be listening to podcasts of different speakers, and those count as well too, because he said, I don't have anyone to call on that take them out to dinner, right? So that's what I use mine is for my podcasts and the different sessions that I go to. You learn from those positive, even if it's virtual, it's just as good at virtual.
Right. So you're submerged, and just like when we're listening to Bob Proctor and all those audio tapes, or anybody that inspires you or motivates you, or really puts you on that path of positivity to in that, for your team purpose and for your goals and for your dreams. Okay. So anyways, I just wanted to start off with that, because that's something that is very, very important, especially if you're wanting to move forward. Because some people say, well, I don't know why, it's not happening, or why, why am I not attracting people to what I'm doing, or, and it could be that energy that you're giving off because of, not the negativity, but you're not in that positive vibration, and you need to, lift yourself up. And who's going to help you do that? But successful people, the millionaires, right? The motivational speakers, positive thinking, joy journaling, like we all do in our journals every day, reading your 25 cards every morning and every night, that are positive. Okay, really important. You have your hand up, Leonie?
Yeah, I just wanted to add a couple of things that they even said what we could do. And this is interesting because, I mean, we've heard it many times, but he says, what is my game plan in order to improve my team purpose and diminish your team distraction? And that's something we should all sit and jot down. And he said, what are the triggers that have historically taken me off my track? So there again, I thought, Joan, that was wonderful that, I was given the opportunity also to listen, right? And these are things we've heard before, but I think when you see it in black and white and you write it down, the main things that take you off track, well, then that's it becomes a reality, and that's where you focus. I guess focus comes into it. So it's really
and I think the one of the lines he used is thicken up your team purpose.
Yeah.
Right. It's got to get thicker and stronger, right? So so that those other little distractions, are kind of like just a little pin drop, right? So you can still get stronger and motivated and push forward, right?
And Netflix was one of them. People were naming Netflix.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm me too.
Yeah, like feel good things, right? Things that make you feel good, right? Absolutely. That would be one of mine. So that's awesome.
My next distraction.
And you guys would be one of them.
No, Netflix was a distraction. That's
what
is that
is that what he said? Netflix is
a lot of people.
I think it depends on what. Yeah, I think it depends on what they're watching too.
Yeah,
absolutely. Or if they're binging, if they're binge watching.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I can totally see that. Absolutely. Yeah. It's interesting you say that, Leonie, because when Jack was in the hospital and I couldn't sleep, when he was in the brain injury clinic, I would literally watch movies all night. And it was the only thing that kept my mind off of worrying, because you guys weren't around in the middle of the night, right? When I was with you guys in the evening was great, but then when you guys were gone and I had to go to bed, it's like I needed something to distract me. So that was something that I did. So I can totally understand how the binge watching thing is sometimes not a good thing, but it depends on the circumstance. But when it comes to building your business and focusing and building that team purpose, thickening that team purpose, yes, absolutely. So I'm really excited to share Allan's message that he shared on Friday. I'm going to keep writing notes, because some of these lines and scenarios that he shares, I think, are going to help you understand just the language. And that's going to help you reach out to more people, especially strangers, when you're talking to them out and about. Okay, so here's Allan Blain, one of our mentors in Neolife.
Important when it comes to us prospecting, and that is our mindset. I don't want to just talk about mindset, okay, but I want to talk about our mindset around prospecting, and some things that I think some things that I know will be game changers for some people. Some of you already are really strong in these areas. Others of us could stand to use some improvement, but I think all of us can take something away from, I know myself included, from the things I'm going to be sharing this morning. But I want to just really, more than anything this morning, remind each and every one of us that when we're prospecting, when we're having, what is prospecting? It's having conversations with people. When we're having conversations with people that are prospective customers or prospective business partners, thus the name prospecting, our mindset, what we truly believe in our heart and our mind, determines so much of our success, so much of our success. If we are not confident in that the products actually are effective and safe and healthy and, effective, I guess, is if I was going to use one word, we're going to have a difficult time. Our confidence, let me say it this way, our confidence or our lack thereof is going to be transferred to the person we're talking to, whether we realize it or not. And that's the difference between somebody who seems to get everybody to sign up and somebody who seems to not be able to get a sign up. Oftentimes, that's it's one of the biggest, it's got to be the biggest determining factor. I'm not saying it's the only thing. It's not the only thing. It's the biggest thing. There's my notes. They finally printed. It's the biggest thing. And our posture, how we communicate, the way we type in communication, the way we speak in communication, the way our body language is when we communicate, if it's through a screen or in person, it comes from our confidence or our lack thereof. Again, and I love how Dan Sullivan talks about the 4 C's. Commit. We commit. We got to make a commitment first to something, and not to get hung up in these 4 C's. But it's really simple. When we commit to something, like building a business means talking to people. Okay, we make this commitment to prospect. Then it takes courage to act on that commitment. That's the second C. It takes courage to act on that commitment, right? To step outside our comfort zone and act. But when we do, and we fail and we get up, but eventually we say something right and we get a positive response, it builds confidence and, or it builds capabilities. Actually, I'm getting it backwards. It builds capabilities because we refine the way we type and we refine the way we speak and we refine our body language as we do it. And the more we do it, we develop the third C, capabilities. But you only develop capabilities by first committing and having courage to act and mess up and say it wrong and type it wrong and make adjustments and get it right. And then we develop capabilities. That's skills. And as we develop capabilities, guess what happens? Our confidence goes up. And as our confidence goes up, it feeds this whole cycle. Well, now I'm willing to commit to more. Hey, if I've got confidence, I can get someone to say yes, even if it's 1 out of 20, 1 out of 100, 1 out of 5. Well, then I've got confidence then to have more of these conversations because I know I'm getting better. I've developed capabilities, which has increased my confidence. And now I'm going to commit to doing it more. And I'm going to build, which is going to take courage again and build more capabilities. And the cycle continues. Some people say, well, when it comes to posture, you might have heard the saying, you got to fake it till you make it. And there's people out there trying to fake it till they make it, by the way. Plenty of examples of that. I would like to say you have to faith it until you make it. You have to faith it. You have to have a vision of where you're going on your weight loss journey before you've even lost your first pound, maybe. You have to have a vision of where you're going with your business maybe before you've got your first paycheck. Now, obviously, your first belief check increases your confidence in your belief. The first pound you lose increases your confidence that the products work, of course. But we have to still faith it until we make it. We have a vision, if you do, of being, have a Neolife be your full-time income or whatever your vision is. It may not be that. Most of us aren't at our vision yet, and it hasn't arrived. We haven't realized that, but we still have to have the belief, the confidence, the faith, whatever you want to call it, that that we're in the journey, that we're in process, right? And so that's super important because if we don't truly have the faith, the belief, the confidence, whatever word you want to use there, or all the above, then it's going to affect our posture. It's going to affect our ability to communicate effectively. And it's the reason why some people, have you noticed how some people, I don't know if you can relate with this, but some people, in our business get objections often from people that other people don't get. It's like some people are like, everybody thinks it's too expensive. And other people are like, I mean, yeah, not that I haven't heard that before. Of course, we've all heard that before, but that's not an issue for me, right? Other people are like, nobody's interested in the business. And other people are like, I find a lot of people that are open to the business. And I could give example after example, right? I just used price and I used the business as two examples. And what is the difference? I mean, there are other things, but I think the biggest difference is the person who finds a lot of people that are open to looking at the business is really excited, enthusiastic, and believes in the business, that it is a really good thing for the person they're talking to. The person who doesn't get a ton of price objections is the person who believes these products could be twice the cost and they'd still be an incredible value, like I believe, right? So somebody was telling me the other day that, they've never got somebody to buy a weight loss solution. I don't think. I might be getting this a little bit wrong, but I think I'm saying it right. That they've never got somebody to buy a weight loss solution. The most they've ever gotten somebody to purchase is a breakfast solution or, vitality solution. And that just the people that they run into just can't afford a weight loss solution, 240, 50 bucks. And I was thinking about that and I'm like, man, some of the most broke people I know spend more than 250 bucks a month on Botox, lip filler, hair color, lotto tickets, alcohol, tobacco, medications, feed to feed their horses, stuff to care for their pets, eating out. And I just made that quick list. I mean, that almost hits everybody I know. Not everybody I know. Let me say it this way. That's a huge segment of the quote people that are broke that can't afford a weight loss solution might fall into one or more of those categories. And so here's the point. It's not about whether someone has horses or pets or does Botox. It's about people are going to pay for whatever they desire, that they see the value that's great enough to go get it almost at any price. And I'm saying that within reason, but we're not talking about we're not talking about a $5,000 sale. We're not talking about $1,000 sale. We're talking about a $50 to $250 sale. And these are things, my point, people that literally would be considered, poverty level or whatever. I'm not saying everyone, but there are plenty of examples of people in that category that are spending that kind of money on other things. And so my point is this. My point is we have to keep our head squared away on what the value is that we're offering, so that it doesn't mess with our head and mess with our posture and mess with our confidence and mess with our communication. If we're going to assume somebody is not going to be open to the business, or we're going to assume someone's going to think, oh, they're just asking me if I'm open to the business because they need me. They're needy of me more than more than they're caring about my best. Or we're going to assume somebody's thinks, oh, well, that's going to be too expensive, a weight loss solution. We've already lost before we even ask. So I don't even know if it's worth asking. We need to change our mind. And the way to change our mind also is by asking and doing it more. And you start realizing, like, more and more. I'm so proud of so many of you that are being more, if you want to use the word bold, I guess, to share the business. I mean, to ask if somebody's open to looking at the business. And it's fun getting the stories back from several of you where it's like, so-and-so was open to the business, like someone I just met, like a stranger or friends. And so I wanted to start with that. And then I wanted to kind of circle back around to just some of the things I feel like I've said this before, but I don't know. I just feel like it could be helpful again. I know Nicole and I were talking the other day. We're like, we really need to say things over that are important. over and over and over again for other people's sake over the weeks and months and years, not just think, well, I said it once, because as she was saying, and I was agreeing, I'm like, we both were like, yes, yes, we both are the same way. Nicole and I are the same way. It's like, how many times do we need to hear something before it finally kind of gets locked in and clicks? I mean, I might have to hear something on a leadership call for the fourth time before I really realize, okay, I got the proven 33 now, or I got the new, whatever's new, whatever's different. Like, it takes multiple times sometimes for us. So anyway, all that to say is, I was just thinking, well, some of these things, some people on this call have never heard, and other things that we could probably stand to, be helpful to you here again. But some of the things, I just want to share some of the things I love doing in prospecting when it comes to the business. Okay. When it comes to the business, I love, if it's somebody I don't know well, because I wouldn't know what their occupation is. That's kind of a determining factor. If you don't know their occupation, we probably don't know them very well. I love asking people real simply. Again, this is in person. This is when I meet someone out and about. This is in Messenger and text, wherever the conversation's taking place. I love asking people, what do you do? I love asking people how long they've done it. I like asking questions that do two things. They help me get to know the person. So if I never, ever, ever end up getting to, quote, prospect them in the business, I at least develop the relationship. One. Two is I love asking questions that do that and have a high likelihood of me having a smoother opportunity, a more natural opportunity to get to ask them if they're open to looking at the business. So that's why I like some of these questions. What do you do? Awesome. How long have you done it? Awesome. 1 month, 3 months, 3 years, 30 years. I don't care the answer. I'm just getting to know them. But I love following up with the third question is, wow, you must love what you must love it then. I mean, if someone's been doing it for 6 months, that's 6 months longer than they would have done it if they hated it and wanted to quit after one day. So to me, I almost don't even care how long they've been doing it, unless it's one day. I mean, but if it's months or years, it's like, wow, you must enjoy it. And oftentimes the answer is no, I don't enjoy it. But regardless of what their answer is, then I love just getting to ask questions like, well, what is the most rewarding or, enjoyable thing about that? Whatever the occupation is. I'd love to learn. What is one of the most challenging things about that? I don't sound like I'm interrogating them. I sound like I care because I actually do. But at any point in that, it's like, wow, at any point in that conversation, it's so quick and it's so easy, to be able to just say, wow, have you ever considered doing something else? Would you ever be, man? And another one I jotted down. I'm like, I love letting people know that I'm in the process of launching a new team, or I'm in the process of launching new teams in my business, is another thing that oftentimes I will like to share with people. Another thing I love to share with people is to give them a sincere compliment. If I truly can. If I can't give someone a sincere compliment, I wouldn't want to work with them. If I can't find something good to compliment somebody on, I can tell you I don't really want them in my business. Which means, let me say it a different way. Almost everybody I can sincerely compliment. I can find some reason to compliment them. And I love doing it. And I'm looking for opportunities to compliment them and let them know that I'd give them the compliment, whatever it is. Wow, you're very whatever. You're great at this. I notice you're exceptionally good at this, but whatever the thing is, the compliment. I would love to have someone like you in my business. I would love to have someone like you in my team, maybe said a different way. Is another, if you want one-liners, there's just things that just naturally flow in conversations, but they only naturally flow in conversations because I made a commitment to be courageous, to start conversations, to do this a lot. And so now it's very natural and very enjoyable. And it's enjoyable because it's enjoyable for the other person too, I can tell. Because they can tell someone's really taken a genuine interest in them. Who doesn't love a compliment? Who doesn't want to be told they would love to have us in their team? Who doesn't want to hear that, even if we're not even open to it? It's really fun. I'd love to work with someone like you after I give them a compliment. I don't know if I said that already. I'd love to work with someone like you. I'd love to get to spend more time working with someone like you. I'd love to have someone like you on my team. I'd love to have someone like you in my business. And maybe the best follow-up to any of that is, are you at all open to taking a look at what we do? Said another way, are you at all open to taking a look at a way to earn some additional income from your phone? Are you at all open to creating an additional income stream outside of dentistry? Are you at all open to learning how what we do may be a benefit to you and your family's life? These are just simple questions that oftentimes, especially if we showed we cared, and this literally could be 30 seconds into a conversation. This could be the first messenger chat back and forth. I mean, this does not have to be 5 hours of talking to somebody, let alone 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be. It can be, or it cannot be. But by time you've complimented somebody and built a connection, however long or quick that might have happened, and I find, and you have the posture and the belief that they need the business. Likely, let me say it this way. You have the confidence and the belief that if they say yes to this business, if they say yes to linking arms with you and partnering with you in this thing and doing this, if you have the confidence and posture to believe that it will bless them and their health and their finances and their family's life much more than it will ever put money in your pocket. And I believe that. I hope you do too. Someone can partner with us in business, and Neolife, the whole totality of it, this team that they become a part of, the products, the business, the income, the impact, the purpose, all of that, the personal growth and development that they're going to gain, their communication skills they're going to improve in, that's going to improve their marriage and their parenting and all areas of their life and their friendship. I hope you, like me, believe that it's going to benefit them in all those ways way more than the leadership development bonus you or I are going to earn on them month after month after month after month for the business that they successfully build. Do you believe that? I mean, that's a really good question to ask. Do you believe that? Or do you believe the flip, that you need them more than they need Neolife? Because if you believe, or I believe, we need them and we're needing Ellie more than they need Neolife, potentially, then it's going to come across in our posture. We're going to be more likely to come across with commission breath. We're going to be more likely to be taken wrongly. So then this all comes back full circle to where I kind of began, our belief in whether the products are expensive or not. As an example, come back to the business, our belief in whether or not the business opportunity is more valuable to them than it is to us to have them join. It puts it in a whole nother frame then, if we believe that there's way more upside for them to join us in business than for us. Now it takes the focus off, well, I don't want to be one of those, and I don't want to da-da-da-da-da. It's like, well, I don't want to be one of those that withholds good from somebody. I don't want to be one of those that doesn't know if somebody's drowning out there in the middle of the river or just swimming. I can't tell unless I ask. So I got to throw the life preserver that I have. I know I have. I got to, Dwight talks a lot about helping people get out of jail as an analogy to getting to freedom through Neolife. But I've got to throw them the raft to let them decide whether they're like, no, thanks, I'm just swimming, don't need your life preserver. Or, yeah, dude, I am kind of drowning out here. Let me grab that thing. Will you pull me to shore with the rope now? We don't see. The thing is, in the business, we don't know. We can't even see somebody out in the middle of the river. We don't know if they're on their knees at night praying for a solution because they have no purpose in their job and they can't stand it. And they take a pay cut just to have purpose and passion to wake up and go to work. That's a lot of people. We don't know if they're on their knees at night praying for something to take the load of the debt that is suffocating them, that's affecting their marriage, that's affecting their health, that's affecting all this other areas of their life. We don't know. We only know if we ask, are you open? That's the only way. Okay, so again, you see how all this, I'm just saying, it really revolves around our mindset and our perspective of the business. I think so many of us tend to think, well, the products are, if someone gets on the products, they're going to benefit so much more from the products than the commission I earn. But do you feel the same way about the business? Because if we do feel the same way about the business, and I think if we all think it through, we will come to that conclusion because we're all in the business. Why are we all in the business? For all those reasons, right? So keeping our head in the game and squared away right is the best way to be able to help people the most. And one of the last things I want to share is, I didn't realize I had so much to share. That usually happens, sorry, is I'll wrap it up with this. Leave a couple minutes at least left at the end. Be ready to give an answer, because as soon as you start asking people what they do, how many kids do you have? What are they going to ask you? How many kids do you have? Oh, where do you live? What are they going to ask you? Well, where do you live? When you say, what do you do for a living? They're likely going to ask you, what do you do? And actually, I got two things, this and one more, is be ready to give an answer. Like, you better have already prepared your answer ahead of time, and be excited when they ask you, what do you do? Posture, confidence, belief, faith. Where are you going? What's that vision you have? It better roll off your tongue like butter. And if it doesn't, it will if you do it enough times, I promise you. And it can be, okay, these are my words. You pick yours. Just know, be ready to give an answer. Okay. Be ready to give every man and woman an answer. And my kind of go-to oftentimes is, well, what do you do? I have the best job on the planet. I just come out with, I have the best job on the planet. That's just what I do. I mean, you can copy it, you can not, I don't care. I have an answer that would be compelling to someone to lean in and go, and I not push back because I just gave you a 60-second or, just speech on what I do for a living. No, don't do that. I say, I have the best job on the planet. I get to, and then depending on what I know about them, it's going to come out a little differently, different times. I get to make money from my phone. I have the best job on the planet. I wrote down some. I get to lose weight and get fit and help other people do the same. I mean, depending on who I'm looking at and what our conversation was up to that point, am I going to say things that might be more attractive to them? Of course I'm going to, if I'm talking to a male versus a female, I mean, it might be a little different depending, but generally speaking, if it's about the business, it doesn't matter if they're male or female. But hey, I get to help people pay off debt and get debt free. I have the best job on the planet. I get to live healthier. I get to help people live healthier and happier lives. Zip. Hey, I have the best job on the planet. I get to help people leverage the power of the internet and social media to make money from their phone. I love what I do. Zip. Oh, really? Well, what? And they might not ask more follow-up questions. Well, they're not that curious. That's fine. I had the best job on the planet. I get to help people escape the rat race and live a life of purpose, passion, and freedom. It's been the most rewarding thing I've ever done. I got the best job on the planet. I get to put the home back in home business for people. I mean, I don't know, whatever you want to say, but just be ready to give an answer. And I also love how, even if you're brand new, if you have a vision for where you're going, you can communicate it. If you have no vision for where you're going, you can't communicate a vision you don't have. You can even add on, I have the best job on the planet. I get to blank. And at the rate I'm going, at the rate this is going, I'll be able to blank. Fill it in, write that down. And at the rate I'm going, I'll be able to blank. Give you some examples. And at the rate I'm going, I mean, 30 minutes a day, and I'm going to be able to be making our house payment here before long. At the rate I'm going, an hour a day into this thing, and I'm going to be able to be making the car payment for our family here before long. At the rate we're going, my husband's able to retire 10 years earlier than he would have otherwise. At the rate we're going, I'm going to put this day job down here in another 3 years or another year or another 6 months or another 5 years, whatever your vision is. See, it doesn't even matter what it is. It's that you have a vision and you can communicate it. Really? Well, tell me more. And not everybody will, but those that are open and interested will. And this is how we have these conversations. Again, why do some people have all kinds of people that are open and interested to the business and others just can't find anybody that's interested in the business? This is why. Man, what was the other thing? I didn't have it in my notes and I just thought of it. Any comments or questions in closing? Maybe I'll think of it here in a minute. I hope that's helpful.
What you shared, Allan, is the foundation of building this business. I hope people will not just listen to this and be encouraged. I hope they will memorize these statements you've given them. They will work through every statement you've made and apply it to their life and make sure they're applying it to their life. It's where the business happens.
Thank you, Lawrence. And I appreciate that. And the other thing too, is it's so fun. These people are going to say, yeah, I'm open. And then as you get to share and you ATM them, you invite them to a Zoom health talk, you invite them to whatever you invite them to, and then they learn a little bit. And then, you know, you have more conversation, you put them in a group chat with your upline, you do whatever you do. And then a lot of them aren't going to join as promoters, but a lot of them are going to go, well, man, this is interesting. I think I'd like to try the products and see how the products work out for me. Great. You got a club member. I mean, you'll get more club members than promoters leading with business, but you'll get like no promoters if you never talk about the business. So that's the other way to look at it. I'm not saying everyone has to lead with business. That's not at all what I'm saying. When the opportunity and the conversation goes to products, it goes to products. But I love even when people are just, oh, it's just a conversation about the products, you know, and I'm going to invite them into the healthy living group and tag them in the first 2 videos there. I like asking them before I even do that. Great. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to invite you in this private group. I'm going to tag you in these first 2 videos in guide number 1. It's going to be great little 6-minute videos, great information. We do have another Facebook group for the income side of things. You're not open to that, right? Are you open to I don't always ask it that way, but are you open to learning about that too? Or do you just want to learn about the products? And they say 1 of 2 things, 50-50. No, I just want to learn about the products. I'm not kidding you. Probably close to half the time they're like, oh, well, yeah. Go ahead and invite me to that too. I mean, they're curious now. So even when you lead with the products, you can still ask them, you know, it's already been closed. Like you've invited them to the Zoom health talk. You've invited them to the Facebook group. You've already invited them and they've said, yeah, you've got a plan. By the way, we have this other Facebook group for the business information. Would you be interested in learning about that too, or just the products? It's a great after the close kind of question. And you'll be surprised, I think, how many people, especially if you don't ask it, like you wouldn't be interested in that, right? Like that's like if you're scared of it. No, like we have this other amazing Facebook group and it's all about the, you know, income opportunity and how people are changing their lives there and the impact that's making. Would that be of interest to you to learn about that too? I just wanted to ask, you know, before we do this thing, or not. No worries either way. Oh no, just the products is fine. Okay, great. And now they know there's a business opportunity if it never comes up again for weeks or months. Isn't that cool? All right. Anyone else before we close it down? I don't remember what the other thing I was going to say.
Well, I think that was awesome. Let me just stop share for a second. How'd you guys feel about that? You can unmute yourself because I had to mute everybody. That was pretty awesome, eh?
That was awesome. I'm going to listen to that every second day.
What was that?
I'm going to listen to that every 2 days. I mean, yes, I want to memorize all those statements. His enthusiasm.
I know he was fast. I was writing too, but and what's nice is to have the different options and the different variations, because it really depends on you know, how you're connecting, who you're connecting with, who you're talking with, right? And just where the conversation goes.
It's what answer you get. It's then, oh, okay, now I can answer this. Oh, maybe I should ask this because it's you know, it seems more pertinent to whatever we're talking about.
Yeah. Any other feedback?
I loved it.
Actually, I'm glad Tracy's on because that's how I met Tracy. Okay, guys, I'm in Punta Cana. I'm on the beach. There's yoga. There's Zumba. And I even thought to myself, I can't talk to people about the products and business here because a lot of the employees there, the Neolife isn't there, right? And I thought, well, no, maybe I can meet some of the guests that are here on the, you know, on a trip here, right? So, anyways, I always go to yoga, Zumba workouts and stuff. And when I saw Tracy doing her yoga, I thought, oh my gosh, she is in such great shape. Like when you meet her in person, I thought, oh my God, I want to have a body like that. I didn't say that to her.
Oh my God, thank you.
But I did remember I said to you, Tracy, I said, wow, you must work out a lot. Remember?
Yes, I do.
that was the first thing that I said to her. And then we just started talking about workouts and asked her what she did. Right? She's a registered nurse. And that's how the conversation went. And I said to her, wow, I would love to have you on my team.
Yeah.
Remember that?
And I'm like, huh? Yes, I do.
So that's how the conversation started. And then I did invite her back to the room to try the upbeat, and we shared stuff, but we worked out again the next day. We did some, I think we did Zoom, but anyways, all I'm saying is, like, it does work, guys. It does work. I did, I gave her a sincere compliment, and I asked her what she did. And anyways, and the conversation just went, and then she went home and signed up as a promoter.
Yeah.
Right. And she's almost a senior manager. I think you're over 700. So
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty exciting. So anyways, I just wanted to share
I'm
that
super
with you guys.
excited. And I'm sorry if it's really louder. I feel like I'm screaming, but I'm in the car driving. So
Yeah, no, go ahead.
okay, so I was really excited because I feel like I'm having a hard time like finding the right opening line or the follow-up line or something. So that was really helpful. And I remember what Nada had said to me, and that's what I was using. But to have more examples is really helpful too. So that was cool.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Any
It
lines
makes
that
me want to go out and talk to strangers. And I think that that's been a real holdup for me, is first of all, finding a stranger who's in a place where you can talk to them.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, that's a great starter. Is just like, after you've discussed the vegetables or whatever, you talk about what do you do,
Absolutely.
I like
And
the
you know what?
ending.
Listen, people like to be asked questions. Like, we're so used to putting our head down, walking in the grocery store, not talking to people, not looking at people. Whereas I look at everybody, I talk to everybody, and I make comments about what's in their shopping cart, and that's a great deal or whatever, right? Just and sometimes it doesn't go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it does go somewhere, right? You just never know. Just start a conversation.
I find it really interesting. There's lots of things that I do naturally in conversations when I'm out and about, but don't think about doing the same thing when I'm sharing about Neil life. For example, like I often say to people, what do you find rewarding about your job? But I don't necessarily say that when I'm talking to them and getting to know them, when I've just met them. It's usually something that when I've known them for a little time, and then I'll, get a little deeper and asking more. So it just kind of reminded me to, it's okay, when you've just met that person, to ask those questions, and then ask, say, I'd love to have you on my team, and say, would you be open to have a look, in a shorter time, because I'm often in situations when I don't have a lot of time, and it's more, oh well, I don't think I'm going to bother because I'm only in here for a couple of minutes. So yeah, I really have to I really have to kind of change that in my mind and just do what I naturally do, but just in a shorter time.
Yeah, and that's where the posture, the commitment, the confidence, right, comes from, right? So, and just acting on it. And he even said it gets easier. Like, at first I was uncomfortable with it, right? But when I was in Punta Cana, I was very comfortable because I'd already done it a few times. So it was a very easy lead in when I met Tracy. But the first few times I did it, I was uncomfortable because it's not my normal language, right? But once it starts becoming your normal language, it's and Allan hit it on the nail. It's fun. I really enjoy it now because I enjoy learning what people do.
Yeah.
Right. It's really cool to find out what people are doing. And sometimes what they're doing, I think, wow, like there's jobs out there that I didn't even know existed. Right. So it could be a lot of fun. And you're learning more about other people.
I just want to share too. I remember how I met Precious, and I went to Sport Check, and we're at the counter, and I loved her chain that she was wearing, just caught my eye, and I gave her a compliment. And then as from there we started to talk, and I said, oh, where are you from? And she said she's from Africa. And then I said, oh, how long have you been working here? I haven't seen you at Sport Check before. Oh, I've been here like 6 months. So I said, oh, wow. I said, so do you like what you do? And she goes, she hesitated and she goes, no. She said it really softly. And I said, oh, okay. I said, listen, and I had to be really quick. So I said, listen, I said, would you be open to listening to how you could, change that, and very quickly or something to that effect. And I gave her my card. And she nonchalantly, I said, do you have your phone number? She took a piece of paper, she wrote it really nonchalantly, and she gave it to me. So that was how I met her, and it was, we talked, and Nada and us, we met. And, so she's become a club member, and she will decide at some point that she wants to be a promoter. But right now, so those are the things. And what I liked about what Allan was saying, well, I have to do more of that, but what I like Allan was saying was at the end where he says, you're giving them a choice about the product or the business opportunity, but at the same time, like if they said, no, just the product, go, oh, really? He goes like that. So people get curious with that hesitancy. It's nature's curiosity to want to know, okay, why did she say that? Yeah, sure. Whether they really mean it or not, but it sort of changes their mindset or their response. So I thought that was really interesting, that last bit. And like Win says, like, you have to do it more often.
What you shared, Leonie, was an example of what Allan said is you led with the business.
Yeah.
But she wasn't ready, but she ended up signing up as a member, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you would have led with just the product, you wouldn't have given her that idea or opportunity that there's a business opportunity. Whereas that's always going to be in the back because she needs money, right? We met with her. So you led with the business and she decided to try the products first, which is great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I think we just, like, for me, I have to do more of that, because I chat a lot. As we all know.
Yes, you do.
I do. But to do it with purpose that way. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So I really hope you guys are inviting people to the rally. It actually, there's a link, neoliferally.com, that you can just send them that and they can just click on it and register right from there. And just remember, it's free. Get customers on the January the 28th. They're potential customers. I'm inviting people that I've just met. Just say, you know what? It's only 2 hours. When they hear our 4 scientists speak, guaranteed they're going to come on board. Right? We've all met our scientific advisory board. Most of us have. And for those of you that haven't, you are going to be so grateful, and that confidence is going to get so much stronger that nobody can knock you down. And that's how I feel to this day. Many of you feel that way, right? Once you see the scientists and the integrity behind the products and the science, you are just going to be so full of confidence, and it's going to be so much even easier for you to talk to and connect with people. Okay, so some of us are hosting events in our home, some of us are doing it virtually. So just wanted to let you know. So there's 2 events, and the 14th is the business one, where it's going to be 2 hours of business testimonials and hearing some amazing stories for the business. Okay, so that would be a great one. People that are kind of curious about the business. Okay.
So how do you actually invite them to that? I thought it was just for people already in the business. How do you invite them to that rally? Because I have 2 people that are kind of showing me they're interested, but yet they haven't gone on one of the calls yet.
Do they live close to you, Tracy?
One lives about 10 minutes and the other one's in Hawaii. She used to be my patient, actually.
Yeah, no, send her the link and she can listen. I just have to find out what the time difference would be. It's free. Just send them the link, neoliferally.com. There's 2 events, the Rise and the Wellness.
Okay.
This is the product,
okay, cool.
Rise is the business. Yeah, they can register and save the link. And I've been texting. Actually, I'll text you what I'm texting some of my customers.
Oh, perfect.
You can copy and paste it and then change it. You can put their name, say, hey, so and so, and then just copy and paste what I've been sending people.
Okay, that's awesome. I didn't know. I was unsure how that worked. So they have to actually, once they go on that website, then they register just like I did.
Yeah, just like you did, put your email and name. And if you have local people, be fun to have a couple of your friends at home and do it.
Oh, that's true. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. And that's, or if you want to drive to Mississauga, we're hosting one at Jones and one at my mom's. If you want to drive out to Ontario.
Yeah, would that be what, a 14, 15-hour drive?
From Michigan?
Yeah, how far is that?
No, it's not far.
So 3
Really?
or 4 hours, right, guys?
No, it's longer than that because it takes me. How long does it take you to get to Windsor from your place?
That would probably be about 3.5 hours for me.
Oh,
Okay,
right, because we're
and
another
you've
3
got,
hours.
yeah, then you've got another 4 hours from Windsor
Right.
to your place.
Yeah, 7 hours. That's okay. You have a party at your house and invite people to both. Do both Saturdays.
Yeah, that would actually be cool. Yeah, okay. I didn't even think about that. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we're doing a potluck and having, you know, food and snacks, and it's going to be fun.
Okay. I like
Okay.
that idea. Yes.
All right. We have a couple of minutes before we go off to the other event. Francis, how are you? I thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. I'm great. Yeah, I thought that guy was great, and he gave me a lot of good ideas.
Yeah.
I actually have not really been trying to start with the business side. I've just been talking to people about the products. That's where I am at right now. But now it's sort of made me, the juices are flowing, and I'm thinking of people that I can talk to about the business side. So yeah, it was really good. I'm really
Because you
getting
never
excited
know.
now.
Yeah, me too, because there's a lot of people out there, and you're starting to hear more and more stories of people that are struggling, especially with Christmas coming, and and the grocery, the prices of a broccoli or romaine lettuce. It's like that, right? So people are worried and they are concerned. And even extra $200 or $300 a month for someone to have a little part-time business, it could really change their life.
Mm-hmm.
It just ease off a bit of the stress, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. We have 2 minutes to 8 before we get on our event. So just remember, there's also the Discover More at 9. So if you have any guests coming on either at 8 or 9, hopefully we'll see some of you there. So I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight, and definitely a recording that I think I'm going to watch this again. I've seen this already 3 times, and every time I watch it, it just really hits home. So thanks again, guys, and we'll see you or Thursday. We're having a fun night. So it'll be a bunch of different stories and journeys of people's health and talking about different products that have impacted their life. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Nada.
you.
Thanks, Nada.
Bye.